demo chatbot where I am giving it a natural language query for a real estate use case. I'm saying I'm looking for a two-room apartment near Chinatown in SF under 3,000. You can see it is able to identify the location name as Chinatown, budget as 3,000, number of beds as 2, broker allowed is false, and city name is SF. So it is able to extract all this information in a predefined JSON schema, which your API or backend can understand. Hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about how we can use AI, specifically large language models or LLMs, to extract structured data from natural language, basically natural language questions or natural language queries, specifically when it comes to user queries. So this is a very important application of LLM, I think, because it allows us to automate a lot of tasks which was not possible earlier. So let's talk about a bit about structured data and unstructured data. So when it comes to languages, there are two types of languages. There is one called natural language, which is between two human beings, be it English, Chinese, Hindi, any language that is out there. And natural language in general is vague and ambiguous and requires a bit of a context, sometimes a large amount of context to understand. And it's usually used in an informal setting when you're talking to your friends, your family members, your colleagues. And on the other side, there is something called formal language, which is much more clear and it's much more precise and ambiguous and doesn't require much context. And it is used mostly in a formal setting. Even this language is also a very human language, but it is used to make sure there's no miscommunication. And we usually use this when it comes to programming computers or building database systems. So that is why I have kept the programming languages and database schema as part of the formal language set. To illustrate this thing further, let's take some real world examples. So I'm taking examples from typical customer support use cases or sales support use cases where a user comes to a website and they have some questions about your business, about your product, about your services, and they are either a new customer or a new user who wants to use your product, or they're an existing customer who have some issues or they have some questions that they want to ask. So here is an example. Someone, let's say, coming on a website of a bank or a financial institute, and they want to open a new checking account. So they say, okay, I want to open a business checking account with a high interest rate and no monthly fee, and I'm based in Los Angeles, CA. So this is a typical natural language in which a user would ask what they want. Now, on the other side, the server of the company who have built to take this request, they understand only in a specific format. They want to know things in this like a JSON kind of format where they want to have clarity about which city they belong to, what state they belong to, what is that they want to do, which account they want to open, what features they're looking for. So this is a typical request for an API, and this is a request for an API to create a new account. So it's almost like signing up on a system or on a platform, right? Another example to help you understand this better is a case for insurance. So a user might come to a insurance website and they say, okay, can I get a health insurance quote for a family of 4 in Austin, Texas? We need coverage starting from August. So they have explained a lot of things that they want. On the other side, when it comes to the insurance website, they have an API which requires data in a very specific format, very much similar to a JSON format, similar to this one. And the specific data format could be anything. It could be different, but here I'm taking an example. So where you have the insurance type, which is health, coverage type, family size value, which is 4 year, location values, starting date when they want the coverage starting from, and there are other stuff as well which they need, like they want but might not be needed at this step to get a code, or but they might be actually coverage amount might be needed. So but there can be some default values, so the coverage amount is not provided here in the user's request here, so that value is null here as well. So it basically, this is the two parts of it, right? Similarly, I can show you more examples of government and healthcare. If you want, you can pause this video and read these examples as well. Now, traditionally, if I talk about how this conversion from a natural language to more like a system or a system-based formal language happens, or has been happening, or still happening rather, is in the Stone Ages before ChatGPT. So there are two ways. One is to fill a form, and you have a form like this where you have name, email, phone number, whatever you want to ask, bunch of options, drop down, all this you can say, and then take this data into structured format and send it to API. In order to make this, you need a development team to build this thing, or at least one person you need to build this form and put it on your website. But the experience is really not that great for user because nobody likes to fill out forms. The other option is to have a human call support where you can give a much smoother experience to the user, but it requires a whole support team. So yeah, so these are the two current options. Now coming to the new age after ChatGPT, you can do this thing using a AI chatbot using LLMs. So LLMs can do this task of converting natural language into a formal language like this pretty much very effectively and very efficiently and very accurately as well using LLMs. And there are two ways to do it. One is if you want to do it, build your application yourself at the code level, and you can use LangChain, which is a LLM app building library, very versatile. So something we use quite often while building towers. So this is a very good way to do it. And if you're exploring things, if you're understanding and learning to build things, I will definitely recommend to go ahead and use this. Specifically, there is a function called with structured output, which you can call on any LLM which supports function calling. On the other hand, if you are not, or you do not want to get into the code and you want to do it things in a no code manner, I can recommend you our own platform, which I am making. The idea with TAS is that to allow all of these capabilities in a very no code manner and keep it very simple. A lot of complexities that is there at the LangChain level, and simplify things. Obviously in the LangChain, things are there so that you can build amazing large amount of stuff, but in TAS, and you can build a subset of those things, but it will be much more simpler to make. So yeah, that is what LLMs can offer. Basically allow you to improve the user experience from filling out a form, or even sometimes talking to some customer support agent, which is not very helpful, and even the cost and hassle of managing this team. Obviously, if you're taking this path, you still need a development team, but if you're taking this path, you might be able to do this thing much more easily or by yourself. So to compare all of that thing, I made this table about what are the criteria that is important. First one is user engagement, that user actually interacts with you and gives you the information that you are looking for. Then accuracy and reliability, customization, scalability, all these things. And to my knowledge, I've tried to rate them based on 3 possible ways to do this: using web forms, using human-based call and support chat, and then finally the conversational AI agents. So I feel conversational AI agents has a lot of potential. As I've kept all of these as high, but this is something you have to try and then see it for yourself. So yeah, that is what I wanted to discuss today. Let me know what you think. Now let me show you how I made the chatbot that I showed you at the beginning of this video. To show you how I made this, I just made this. It might look a bit complex, but this is the main place that you want to see. Here I have just added all the properties that I want to extract from a natural language queries. So first one is whether it is a rent or buy, and I've used enum value here. Then location name, and I also described it as well, key what is this property all about, and gave it a name and type, city name, similarly number of beds, number of bedrooms in the user is looking for, budget, and broker, whether the broker is allowed or not, and that's a true, false, or boolean value. Also I gave some examples which you can add very easily, and for each example you can manually add what is the right value that to extract. So that's also possible. And I'm using 3.5 turbo here. I can change the model here as well for more efficiency, for more accuracy. So that's it. That's all this Gambit does. And in the next Gambit, I've just printed it out. And that's how the extraction works. Pretty much you have to just set the schema for it, give some examples, and it will do its thing. And from there on, you can use this data to call an API, to save something, or to even ask for things that are missing. You can do ton of things there. Thanks for watching this video. If you like it, please hit the like button and see you in the next one.